Hello, everybody.
Hello.
Hi.
The recording has started.
Okay. So this is our town hall meeting prior to a what meeting, Sarah?
Um, Education and new members.
All right. Which will be hosted by Ian, and I probably won't be there, but I'm happy to be here. And we have a guest named Gonzalo Rainieri, who is
That's right.
working on a book, is it?
Yeah. I'm writing a book about symbiotic design, which is a framework for creating more sustainable and socially equitable design. That's
Terrific.
to avoid the background that design has been having for the last decades. And so this framework, what intends is to make some conscience on designers that they should change the way they work. And the best way to do so beyond theory is basically showing them examples of people who are doing good things with design as well, not just putting new products into the market. And that's why I reached you to be able to get some images, because I think the project you're doing is super powerful in a certain way, because it's people from around the world who are actually working for free for others, and working from a design point mixed with technology, mixed with social issues. And Yeah, that's why I was asking for permission to basically put some images there. The images are, of course, going to be uh, credited for whom they
Sure,
are.
sure.
Yes.
Well, Gonzalo, that's all straightforward. We, of course, are happy to have our story told. Some of the photographs are, and many of the ones you'll encounter on the web will come by way of the photographer, Jen Owen,
Mhm.
who at times has asked to be compensated for commercial use of photographs, but there are lots of other photographs that are more generally available.
Yeah.
Um, I don't know if we have a collection of sort of pre-authorized photos. And if we do, it's many years out of date anyway. So I would just suggest that you do what you've already done, which is scout on the web and ask permission. But uh, most people will be delighted to have their work featured.
Yeah. The thing is that I have to be sure who's the photograph is the owner, because yeah, that's a sensitive issue.
Well, it is. And in
Yeah.
that way, it may be useful to go by way of Jen Owen, who will already have that sort of authorization for you. And,
Mhm.
I start there. Do you have contact information for her? And have you looked at her? Enabling the Future is the website that she spent a lot of time putting together and which showcases a lot of her photos.
Mhm.
If you go to that website, and then reach out to her, my
Yeah.
guess is that will address all of your technical problems.
Okay. That sounds great. Let me see if I have any.
But if that's the only reason you're here, I've got lots of questions for you. On the other hand, if there are other things you want to take
No,
care
no,
of,
no. It's that I just need to get some images for the book. And
okay, good. So how far along are you in this project?
how long I've been working for it? For 10 years.
Whoa, okay. And how close are
Yeah,
you to being done?
first it was my PhD. So it took me 5 years to do the PhD, and then I developed an initial model, which basically I've been testing it around for 3 or 4 years now, in different countries, different instances, and yeah, now I thought it was time to publish the book with something I'm sure it's going to be beneficial for everyone. Yeah.
That's great.
This is a self-published book. It's gonna, yeah, it's
So what do you mean by a model? What's your model?
the framework. What I actually did was, uh, if you have 5 minutes, I can show you
Why
a
we're here.
screenshot.
Yeah.
Uh, Let me see if I can open.
I say that's why we're here, but also we have, let me suggest, actually, Gonzalo, I'll do a follow-up with you because I'd like more than 5 minutes. I'd like to understand your project and the model, and I'd like to, if you don't mind, talk to you about an Enable-inspired other venture I'm working on called the Eco Restoration
Yeah.
Alliance. But I'm going to invite you to stay with us as we go through the real point of our typical town hall meeting, which is to see what's going on in the community and see if things need help or prodding or celebration or whatever. Okay?
Yeah.
So I'm going to put my scheduler into the chat here and just invite you to pick a time that's good for a 45-minute conversation.
Yeah, that sounds good.
That's great.
Mm,
And now I'm going to share my screen and do what we are supposed to do during this 20-minute town hall. Does that sound good?
Sounds good.
Okay. And
There,
Jonathan and Sarah, I'm back on track here?
Yeah.
I almost got totally sucked in because I'm excited about what Gonzalo is doing. So now I'm going to hub.enable.org, which Gonzalo, I assume you have caught on to, is sort of our shared community space.
Yeah.
And if I click on the chat, Sarah has helpfully loaded in. Oh, actually, has she? Sarah, did you give me a list of links to click today?
Yes, I emailed them to you yesterday,
All right. So
and
here I am.
I can paste
That's
the
okay. I'll have it in a moment. Hub posts for tomorrow, Thursday, 8/28. Great, I said. First one comes from China.
that. Okay, we don't really have to go through that. It's moving. There's more activity on it, and it was more just a reminder to me to track it in the spreadsheet for
That's
cases.
great.
So
Um, okay. Number two then is Douglas, Phoenix. Douglas Higgins. I've started assembling my first enable hand and noticed that the pins don't stay in place. It's a problem. Thierry says there is some play, and if you have a precise machine, they can get loose, but he's not using a thing, and so Christoph says calibrate it, and that's fine. And you could also make the pins a tiny bit bigger via scaling.
He must have fixed this problem. I did approve his badge request this morning.
Okay,
The hand he printed off looked like it was working beautifully, so
all right.
and
We
he
hear
probably
your
figured it
hand
out.
is working well now. Congratulations. Okay. So now we go here, and
and
here's Gonzalo. All
yeah,
right. So maybe we
that's
were going to have some time today.
yeah, that's the third and final post for today. So
Okay. All right then. Um, just looking at the discussion. And here's Sarah. All right. So here we are. We're back. Okay.
you're back.
Gonzalo, why don't you tell us about your model?
I'm gonna just send it in the PDF right now. I'm gonna try to
Okay.
share it with you on the screen so we can actually see it. Let me see how I do that. Here it is, and let me share my screen. Oh, I can't share if someone can open the SDF.
I can, yes. And here it is. Whoa, that's a model if ever I saw one. So sharing the screen. Okay, symbiotic design framework.
There is basically the final diagram. The book is about 350 pages long. It's quite a thing because the idea behind it was to try to make more sustainable design.
Sure.
And the initial question was, of course, what is design? Then how can we do symbiotic, sustainable design? And then to do that, I, of course, looked at biology. And there in biology, there was this man from Chile. I'm from Chile initially. I'm living in the Netherlands now. And Humberto Maturana and Francisco Varela, they are two biologists, of course.
I know them both. I knew them both.
Yeah.
I,
Uh, they
go ahead.
they they basically developed the theory of autopoiesis, which is the ability of living beings for self-creating themselves, among many other things,
Mhm.
but not to extend very much. And basically said, well, what about if design could behave in an autopoietic matter? What if we could think of design as an autopoietic entity?
Mhm.
And fortunately, there was a sociologist, it was Nicholas Luhmann, who had the same idea as mine, but with social groups. So half of the way was already done. I just needed to do some checks into it. And the first thing was to try to find what does it really, what are the components of design? And the components is what basically you see in the diagram over here, which are
Mhm.
these 7 components, which are the human component, the commission, the observation, procedures, partners, the
Sure.
technological component, and outcomes. Those are the things that must be present with different dimensions. If it's inside design, if it's it's outside, if it's in the frontier, it's quite it's very much related uh, as how automatic systems work, because the
Sure.
idea here is to understand design as a systemic thing and not just as a visual thing, which is usually what you can see in some practices of design, that they simply go look at something in
Right.
nature, then they just put the pattern or the figure, what else, and say, "Oh, I'm sustainable. I'm
Get it.
super,"
I get it.
which is not the real thing. The thing is that you have to behave. The system has to be in an automatic system. So the book, what it does basically is explains the way of my travel to develop the framework and the complexities and the simplicities as well of the framework. This first book is accompanied by examples because it can become very dense in certain aspects, but it has to be that way because it's the cornerstone of what is going to come afterwards, which are basically the methodologies to apply this to become useful, because it's not only theory, it's also practice that you can put it into development. And to do that, basically, you have to have a background which has been proved, and that's why I've been showing it around in the Dutch Design Week and all those small things that you see, all the small logos that you see down there. So it's been published. Now I'm going to publish a full paper, which is an abstract of the book, of course, in the World Design Congress which is now in September, and the publishing is coming out on October of this year. So it's been
Coming out party.
yeah, it's coming out super close, and I've been sharing it a lot I've been doing a lot of workshops online in different spaces with different kind of people, with super academics, super practitioners, people who have nothing to do with design, and I've applied in social groups, and I've really been playing around basically during the last 3 years
Got
to
it.
get feedback and to basically tune it up and to put it in what you're looking right now. So the idea behind it, the purpose, the final purpose of this is to give a tool in a certain way for designers to be aware of what they are doing, to have a critical thinking
Right.
tool because when they think of, for example, materials, they don't think about the relationships between materials and their partners, or the people who harvest those materials, or the people who are going to live with those materials inside their house. So basically, it's a tool to make questions, and some of them can be sometimes very uncomfortable.
I understand the spirit, and I understand parts of the detail. I'm sure we're going to have a longer conversation on
Yeah,
this, but we have 11 minutes. So
yeah.
uh, if Jonathan or Sarah or Jenny have questions, they should jump in, but I have some. I'm interested in this vector here. Is this thing supposed to spin around? Does it apply to the entire thing?
That vector, what is showing basically is showing the different dimensions, because there are things which only designers do, and that's what makes us designers in a certain way. Then there's a different tier, is where the exchange occurs, and there different things can happen depending on which of the components you are. For
Got it.
example, if you are in the human component, that's where clients and manufacturers are, because we design, we give it to the manufacturer, we discuss it with the client, and then goes
Yep.
outside to the. What is moving actually is, you move a little bit higher up in the diagram, you're going to see there time. And time is something we can't control at all. We say we do, but we really don't, because it's something that is beyond our. We can think about it. Designers usually they project. That's what we work with projects. We project something into the future, with the idea that we're going to be able to change our present. We don't always do it. And that's the only, and that's why it's outside of this thing, is because we can't control it at all.
So I'm familiar with the concept of autopoiesis, and for those who aren't, this is the notion that the shape of something
Yeah,
is a self-organized pattern by the system itself. A
yeah,
thermostat is part of a self-organizing system that regulates temperature. An
yeah,
autopoietic system is a self-organized system that regulates its own form.
yeah, yeah.
What is allopoietic?
Allopoietic is what is not autopoietic.
Fair enough. Okay.
It's not, those are not my terms. Those are terms that Maturana and Varela they developed. They say, well, if we
I know.
found something, how are
I
we
would
gonna
admit,
go which is not?
I spent a summer with Maturana and Varela,
Oh,
and
that's nice.
I grew weary of sort of the thickness of their whole analysis. But
Yeah,
obviously, it's a really important concept.
yeah,
Um, so there's the designer's world, and the designer is embedded within the biotic world.
yeah,
The biotic world is autopoietic to some extent,
yeah,
but it's embedded within a larger environment, which has shaped the autopoietic systems
yeah,
themselves. That's all. I'm getting all of that from your diagram. So
yeah,
that's a tribute to the diagram. And then there's the abiotic world, outer space, for example, or perhaps the world of physics, which is unperturbed by all of this stuff, but it's still an important part of our
yeah.
uh, concept. So I get all of that. Does this dot have any particular significance?
We don't know what's going out there, and that's why it's
There you go.
kind of
Fair
blurry.
enough. Okay. Now, another thing that occurs to me is I don't see, I see this outward trajectory, but of course, the interesting thing is the interplay among all of these elements and the feedback, because let's face it, I, you know that maybe it was Winston Churchill, maybe it was Lincoln, maybe it was Plato. Someone said, we design our buildings and then they design us, right?
Yeah.
Um, so are you trying to tell that story here as well?
Yeah, if you move the diagram, so we can see the part right above.
Uh-huh.
There,
Look at
here's where
this.
time is. That's where time is, and that's what I was telling you, that those are things we can't really manage. Time is it's gonna keep on rolling. Even if we try to stop it, it's not gonna happen.
Interesting.
The relations you were talking about, that's when symbiosis come into play, and those are the relations that you see on the left side up there in the black square here.
Yes, I get it.
Those over there, that's those are these 6 different kinds of symbiotic relations you find in nature. Those I didn't invent them, and you can basically in the book is explained how they if you want to become sustainable, you have to be in the three ones above, because
Yeah.
at least you have to be in neutralism when nothing really changes. And then all of this has to be it's supported, and here's where the sustainability thing in a certain way comes into play from a human's perspective, the models, the ethics behind it. We live in a society, we can't deny that we have an economical thing, which is driving everyone. We also have a social thing and an environmental thing. And that has all of them are driven by ethical decisions. Because design is nothing more than just a tool. We can use
Right.
it to develop the most incredible hand printed hands for kids, but we can also use the same tool to print uh, a shotgun, or develop a nuclear bomb, or develop I don't know, a campaign against a certain group.
Yeah,
It's the same tool, depends on how we use it. And ethics, it's where comes into play.
got it. Well, so I'm delighted to have the PDF. I don't read difficult books these days. It's just a sad truth. Have you got an article or something that
Yeah, it's
unpacks
coming.
this
Well,
somewhat?
within the when I developed this, I started thinking what I'm going to do with all these things that I created. I'm just going to leave it there resting, or I'm going to put
Yeah.
it outside. That's when I decided. The first thing was to make an academy. The academy, until like 3 months ago, I had courses there. They were mainly free courses to teach this thing. And then, which is what I'm going to do again, but this is version 2.0, because I was teaching version 1, so that's why I took them down. With this version, I'm going to do exactly the same thing. Like, all the theory is going to be applied there. Basic application also is going to be for free. And then there are going to be like the tracks, which are for companies, for example, who want to apply this, or for a university who wants to teach it. And those are going to be the ones that are going to be paid. All the rest is going to be for free. The book has to be paid, because I'm going to print the books and everything. And so there are going to be courses for free where
Understood.
all this is explained.
I guess in the 3 minutes that are left, and I will send you a follow-up email. Um, what other examples are you using besides e-NABLE?
There are like 150 different examples in the book right now. It's been quite a challenge trying to get the images. Many of I'm just asking examples for the good examples, not for the bad ones, because I also talk about things which I think they have been a complete error, because otherwise it will be a very nice book, but
Yeah.
we have to be super clear that design has been doing bad things as well. And I'm gonna uh, put into, let me put into here. I'm gonna show you some images which I have from oh, let me, I've lost the Zoom screen. There it goes. I'm gonna.
Oh, I'm sharing my screen. That's probably your
No,
problem.
no, it's okay. It's okay. It's okay.
Okay.
Uh, I have to admit, there. I couldn't see both screens. This one over here.
You're not sharing your screen right now.
Oh,
I'm so sorry to interrupt. I have to close this meeting and start the education meeting in 30 seconds.
okay.
Gonzalo,
I've just sent you an image. That's
great.
it's a scholar who's working with African patterns to develop infrastructure and things that are relatable for people from Africa. For example, there is working with the Zulus, and there's also people who's working in the MIT developing textures based on organic movement as well. There's also, of course, Buckminster Fuller. Of course, there's also this guy in Scotland who's growing chairs from trees. So they
Got
actually
it. Got
grow
it.
with the form of the chair.
Know that, Gonzalo, I will follow up. I'm looking forward to continuing the conversation. Thank you for joining us.
I'm gonna make the appointment in the
Good.
or in close. Let me so that I can.
Yeah.
Oops.
Thank you so much.
Thank you, Sarah.
Okay.